This week's episode of Still Untitled is made possible with support from M&M's new hazelnut spread chocolate candies. Spreadsheets and emails got you bogged down? Grab yourself a treat with the new M&M's hazelnut spread chocolate candies, guaranteed to deliver a delicious combo of hazelnut spread and milk chocolate in every bite-sized piece. They're a perfect way to bring some fun into your day. M&M's new hazelnut spread chocolate candies are an instant classic, unlocking a side of indulgence that's all its own. Back when I was in college, I used to eat chocolate hazelnut spread by the jar, right out of the jar. And now that they're in M&M's, well, that's perfectly portioned and probably more reasonable. Actually, I'm salivating just talking about it right now. Go hazelnutty and try the new M&M's hazelnut spread chocolate candies today. And on with the show.
Welcome to Still Untitled, the Adam Savage Project. I'm Will.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Norm.
Hey, guys.
Good morning.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy welcome back from Labor Day.
Yeah, how was your Labor Day, gentlemen?
Quiet.
Ooh, quiet's nice.
Quiet. It was very quiet.
Is Burning Man still on?
No, it's done now.
Everyone's on their way back now.
Oh, on the way back now.
It's already back.
I rented a car last week, and the rental car place had one of the best disclaimers I've ever seen on the counter when you were renting the car, and it was basically like, look, we allow you to take your car to these rental cars to Burning Man, but when it comes back, we're going to check the engine compartment and the interior, and if there's any dust, we're going to charge you a $400 detailing fee.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
And I was just like, that is surprisingly chill. That like I was expecting them to be like, no, under no circumstances is this car to go on Black Rock Mesa, yada yada yada.
There's a certain amount of like you just can't stop it.
Yeah.
But one of the side benefits of Burning Man is that San Francisco becomes as quiet as it was when I moved here in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Where the only people wandering around the Mission are foreign tourists. They are delightful. It was super, like we drove around the city every day. It was wonderful.
I had lunch in the Richmond yesterday, and it was just, we walked right in, like to the good dim sum place. Mm-hmm. There's no line.
Yep. Yeah, Julia went to Tartine yesterday and got some pastries.
Yeah. You can't do that on a holiday weekend.
You can't
That's
do that
madness.
on almost any day of the week.
No.
There were a bunch of events going on this past weekend. Of course, Burning Man, but there was a big
Dragoncon
and PAX, the big video game expo in Seattle, and in Dragoncon, of course. I want to talk about Dragoncon. We obviously did not get to go, but the pictures.
Dude,
the costumes this year look really good.
Dude,
were you
Bill
keeping an eye?
was sending me pictures of some of Lego Spaceman costumes that were mind-blowing.
Yeah.
There was one I saw that I didn't get at all. Oh, like Benny from the movie? Like the old school?
No, not like Benny from the movie. They actually made spacesuits within a Lego theme, and they're beautiful.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. I got to find a picture. I'll show it to you.
Bill posted a picture of a guy with a horse head that the horse head was poking through the floor.
Yeah, so it's a famous scene from the Never-Ending Story.
Oh, okay. So that explains why I didn't get it.
Azrael or the kid is pulling their horse. It's actually, I had forgotten about that scene, but I saw the picture because Paul and Storm tweeted it. And I was like, that's kind of a brilliant deep cut. Let me see if I remember. And I went and looked at the scene, and it's incredible that they chose that as like their horse being sucked by quicksand as their cosplay. I've thought of some pretty fun stuff over the years, but that takes the cake.
But this is an ingenuity. I think I saw, my favorite was a giant Mod Podge glue bottle.
Oh, that one was so good.
Yes.
Right? It looked like a mascot,
so
like a very plushy, so huggable. You just want to squeeze.
Yeah, it looked like the old Justin Timberlake Fallon.
There's the Lego Spacemen.
Oh my God, those are so good.
I know. I mean that saturated blue, they really nailed it.
So I've never been to Dragoncon. I've always wanted to go, but not enough
to
go to Atlanta and Labor Day. But it seems like it's the place that like the hardcore cosplay community goes to really show off.
Oh yeah. No, it's San Diego is.
That's outreach. It's community outreach. You're getting new people in.
It's more than that. Obviously, it's definitely more than that. But Dragoncon is where you go to like do the deep cuts that will be appreciated by your fellow cosplayers.
And I think it's less about what you bring as opposed to how you are. What you're doing while you're in costume. And in San Diego, there's a lot of stuff that's greatest hits, definitely stuff that's unveiled because you got a lot of attention, a lot of press, a lot of media. But cosplayers who go to San Diego don't really get to enjoy themselves. You know, they stand in the lobby, they take photos. You're waiting in lines and shopping. But at Dragoncon, the cosplay you're there just to hang out because it is a party. And the fact that it's a social event rather than a convention setting, even though it is technically a convention, that's what makes it more enjoyable.
And it's very hotel based. They've like take over the 5 hotels in the middle of downtown, and it's phenomenal. Some of the best evenings I've had in my life have been at Dragoncon.
One of my favorite costumes that I ever saw come out of there was, I think Harrison Cricks and Bill and some other folks had a print run of the carpet from the floor of one of the hotels.
And probably got a cease and desist from the carpet company.
I remember. Yes,
and then the next year they had changed the carpet in the hotel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, but that makes the costume even better in my eyes.
Totally.
Right.
Totally. So I loved seeing the pictures coming out of Dragoncon. That was very, very
That's rad. I think the Galaxy's Edge stuff opened in
Florida
this week.
That's right. Oh, and with the hurricanes too. So there's a big hurricane, of course, coming off the East Coast.
County get battered?
So it parked all day yesterday between over the Bahamas and South Florida.
Right. I know Jose Andres and his people are all out there.
They're there. I didn't realize he had served 2 million meals.
Dude, the guy
in Puerto Rico. That's unbelievable.
He's one of the not only is he one of the nicest humans I've ever been lucky enough to spend time with. He's a bit of a pal, but holy hell, he is working every day to be part of the solution. It's delightful.
He's
to watch.
more humanitarian now than he is celebrity chef, and people have said the institutional knowledge that he and his team have built in terms of relief efforts is more important than
that's amazing.
Indeed,
his status as just in terms
really
of
cool.
culinary. Yeah.
It's totally amazing.
Yeah. But for people who did make it out there to Orlando and go to Galaxy's Edge, no lines apparently 2 days ago because everyone stayed home because of the hurricanes.
Well, and I mean, they've had the same thing. Well, you just went to Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland, right?
In Anaheim, yeah.
Did you get to do the Millennium Falcon ride?
I did. And I talked about it on other podcasts, and then someone reached out with, I don't know, I guess people try to speculate like how the ride works. And I did my own diagram. I actually did it in test office, like drew on the whiteboard my speculation of like, based on doing it twice, where the line diverges, what goes behind the scenes to get this through, because it's 6 people per cockpit.
And it feels like you're entering your own cockpit.
Yes, you are.
With those 6 people?
It's not Star Tours where you're packing 30 people into a
you
shuttle.
You walk into the Falcon with 5 other people, and you go into the cockpit. And
Oh,
everyone
the
has
cockpit.
that experience.
And
Yes.
that boards, and then your cockpit starts moving.
Yeah, and that's on a
presumably?
motion simulator.
I think I think they've got some sort of rotating cassette system.
It is a
with
carousel.
multiple
It is a carousel,
of
yeah.
cockpits.
Oh.
And
so
so-
every group of 6
Like
feels
it's-
like
like
they're
it's Star
walking
Trek.
into an empty Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, and
Oh,
how
wow.
how could they do that with the throughput?
I heard about this several years ago from somebody on the inside, and I was like, I cannot wait to try that.
So
that sounds good.
I'll give you the cliff notes as to what I was then told via DM about how it works. Is that there is the big static Falcon on the outside. That's the one everyone take pictures with. You don't actually go in that. That's a static model completely, right? It's just a set display. The ride itself is actually behind that. So there's about an hour-long wait in Anaheim to get in, of which there are lots of things to see and take pictures of. And then you get into a holding area with an amazing animatronic. That's the main character of this ride. He's like a Jabba the Hutt type figure, a pirate. He's elevated. He does a lovely briefing. And in that holding area, which fits about 60 people, you're split between a left side and a right side. And I was, why is that a left side and a right side? Well, the left side and the right side then go to separate Millennium Falcon entrances, of which 30 people, into a separate holding area, which is the main. You're walking on board the ship, but the main where the Jarek chess set is, and the beds are
lounge there,
the lounge, right? The famous lounge. That's a great selfie station. You take pictures, and you have about 30 people there. And then you're given little tickets, like with a color code, yellow, blue, orange, red. 6 people at a time with their colors codes are then pulled in into a corridor and a door. Now, the corridor has multiple doorways. And if you go to the first door, that's one part of the carousel. The second door is another carousel.
So they can load 30 people on at a time, then they turn the carousel.
And each carousel has, I believe, 5 or 6 different cockpits that then are on a rotation. Plus, here's the thing I didn't realize. There's also a third door that's for ADA, for slow boarders. So that's on a separate Millennium Falcon so they can take their time and not hold up the carousel.
Oh, that's
really smart. I mean, yeah.
And then once you're boarded, the attendant says, you got 30 seconds to buckle in because they need to move the carousel and close that door. And so within 30 seconds, you're buckled in. The ride takes off, and you're flying the Falcon.
Is it like a fast ride? Is it like a roller coaster, or is it like a Star Tours?
It's like a Star Tours ride. It's a motion simulator, right?
Okay.
But you're fully. It's a video game where there are two pilots. One person controls yaw. One person controls pitch. One pilot gets to pull the hyperdrive lever. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did you have the Pad app on your phone so you could do the stuff
I didn't
with
do
the park?
Would they allow you to do it in costume, or they don't?
There's no costumes in the park.
There's no. So that's when we talk about cosplay. The thing that is great about Disneyland, you can't go to Disneyland in cosplay.
Really?
Because they're afraid from a policy standpoint. People, if you work at Disney, feel free to correct me. My understanding is if you go in cosplay, they won't let you in because you can get confused with cast members.
Sure.
So what fans do is there's a thing called Disney bounding, which means it's a clever way to do a cosplay with the themes and the colors and reach that edge where if someone looks at you, they can tell you are inspired by a Han Solo. But you're not full. And it's a very fine line.
But so there's no fine line in my Wookiee costumes.
No, your Wookiee costume would be frowned upon.
Yeah,
but you could wear your Han Solo jacket.
It's a casual cosplay that you could do, and it becomes a whole thing where people try to push that boundary.
They should do cosplay days.
They should do cosplay days.
I think they do like old timey, like vintage days, or
they
people
bring
do
over
unofficial,
a bunch of the Snow White characters just to man the ship.
Look, you can't do Snow White this year. Snow Whites are going to be the official people working. If you don't have a costume, get the hell out.
But it's an incredible immersive.
Oh my god,
it's really fun.
Subsection of the park that feels like it's a whole thing. Yeah.
I watched some great television and some terrible television.
Ooh.
And I let's see, I finished Band of Brothers.
Okay,
which is
rewatching.
You'd watched it before?
I had back when it first aired on HBO. It's stunning, really worth anybody's time. And an incredible cast. And Michael Fassbender shows up in the last couple of episodes as a bit player, and you barely recognize him because he's like 19.
Oh man!
Simon Pegg's
and Tom Hardy also.
Yeah, like Kyle Chandler's
Tom
in
Hardy,
there, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
Kyle Chandler's.
Yeah. He's one of the main characters.
One of the main characters.
Ron Livingston.
Ron
Livingston and Damian Lewis are the two main actors. I also watched the Rock's movie Rampage.
Oh, that's based on the hit 1988 video game Rampage.
Listen, it was better than awful. It was enjoyable for being terrible.
I feel like a lot of those Rock movies, the big budget ones that aren't like Fast and the Furious or some other brand, often fit into the same slot that like bad Arnold and Sly Stallone movies fit in the like late 80s, early 90s.
Indeed. Look, Demolition Man or The Running Man, like bad movies.
Now let's step back from this precipice.
Dude,
Demolition Man is not a bad movie.
No, it's not a bad movie. It's enjoyably dumb.
It's a comedy.
It's very silly.
You're exactly right. And then I also, we've been talking about Beat Saber.
Yeah.
I continue to play it.
It's fabulous.
I have discovered on some levels, in general, in the past, where there are certain levels that I could not get to the expert level. Mm-hmm. I've done everything on hard.
Okay.
And I've done a few on expert. This weekend, I managed to burn everything on expert. I did every single one of all those available songs on expert. A lot of B's and C's, some A's.
How far?
2 S's.
Do they have all
two
of, like,
level S's?
Wow,
on
the expert,
which means I did not miss a single.
I can expert $100 bills and whatever the second song is, and that's it.
Oh yeah,
as far as I go.
So it's this kind of funny thing because I end up gravitating towards certain songs that are fun to do. And Ultimate Power is really fun because there's a lot of one-handed
I like
stuff.
hips. I like stuff that makes your hips swing as you're going back and forth.
And then I was like, have I done all of these? Let me just make sure I've done all of these on it. And then I started learning all these brand new songs, which I hadn't done in months and months. It was really fun, and I got a lot of workout.
The thing that game does that's lovely is each of the songs has kind of it's I want to say mouthfeel, but that's not right. But the movements that it makes you do for each of the songs is subtly different in a way that
it is.
Like sometimes they put the bombs right behind the block, so you have to be really tight on your saber control.
Indeed, I will also say that I believe, and I would love to know if any of the Beat Saber people listen to this podcast, if you would let us know. But I feel like some of the levels actually teach you while you're playing them how to play them.
Oh, 100%.
I think that's a really neat little
subconsciously
thing that's going on because you'll always get to at the 20% mark. You'll always get to this crap that's too hard. And then it slows down and it kind of shows you how to do the crap that's too hard, so that when the crap comes up again, now you're ready with the you know.
And that's the thing that it does too as it progresses through the tracks on one difficulty level, especially with the first soundtrack.
Yes.
So like if you get to the last few songs on hard, those are probably comparable to an expert level on the earlier songs.
Oh, you think they're like the New York Times, where the first one's
yeah, Monday's easy and Sunday's hard, or Saturday's hard.
Yeah. That's I haven't yet logged enough granularity to ascertain that, but that sounds right.
That's a common rhythm game, like Rock Band and Guitar Hero and all those old games. That was the structure that they used.
Right.
You're not memorizing, right? You're playing.
You have to memorize.
Flow.
You end up getting. I end up with institutional memory, like, oh, they do a lot of switching in this level.
Right.
They swap the bricks in this level, or oh, in this one there's this ridiculous. You just have to just like go as fast.
You're
as you
doing the Phil
possibly
Collins
can.
drum fill there,
Yeah. But no, I appreciate that. What I'm really seeking every time is the flow state, not the memorization state of like, here they come, da 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 da. So it was really fun just to, like, yesterday I burned through 8 levels that I had not gotten to expert on the first try on each. I have made I regressed to the next level.
It occurs to me that using a game like this, probably it's burned for Beat Saber on you now, is a way to quantify how quickly you can learn new skills. Like how people in general can learn new skills.
Your learning curve is?
Well, no, because you like that game fundamentally presents your reptile brain with something it's never experienced before, right? Blocks are coming toward me. I have to sword them. You have no kind of parallel for that in your human experience up until the point that you saw that game. So presumably you could use something like that to quantify and say, hey,
man, it really is a killer app for you.
Oh, so I really, really enjoy it.
Before we continue with this week's episode, I want to let you know that support for Still Untitled also comes from Bombas. You know, it was my birthday recently. Thank you out there for wishing me a happy birthday. And a lot of people ask, what do you want for your birthday? There's one simple answer. I want socks. I just want socks all the time. I never buy socks for myself, so I love when I get socks for birthday, for Christmas, and for any other occasion. I think about socks quite a lot. And recently I discovered socks that changed the ways I'll think about socks forever. They're called Bombas. Bombas are the most comfortable socks in the history of feet. They're made from super soft natural cotton, and every pair comes with arch support, seamless toe, and a cushioned footbed that's comfy but not too thick. With tons of colors, patterns, lengths, and styles, Bombas look great in the gym, at the office, and out on the town, and they make a perfect gift. For every Bombas purchase you make, Bombas also donates a pair to someone in need. That's pretty awesome. Buy your Bombas at bombas.com/untitled and get 20% off your first purchase today. That's bombas.com/untitled for 20% off. Now back to the conversation.
This week was an intense. Sorry, we've been talking about the small stuff, but this week was an intense week.
Yeah.
I will tell you we lost a MythBusters co-host this week, Jessi Combs. She was killed trying to break her own land speed record in a 4-wheeled vehicle. Jessi did the incredible and difficult task of, when I met her, of stepping into Carrie Byron's gigantic shoes while Carrie took a leave of absence to have her baby Stella. And Jessi not only stepped into that role with all the incredible enthusiasm, but became a fan favorite. Our fans are MythBuster fans are intense. And there was a point at Comic-Con once I made a joke about replacing the narrator because we had a very funny narration, and just making the joke, I lost the audience and had to win them back because they were so upset at the idea we were changing something about the brand that they loved. So for Jessi to step into Carrie's shoes and become so well loved by the fans for the season that she was on is no small thing, and a real testament to her incredible work ethic, her incredible build prowess, her ability to be herself on camera. And it is a great loss in my heart. Our hearts go out to her family and her loved ones. I can't imagine how difficult their week was.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, I put a kid on the plane to go to college.
Oh boy.
Which was its own little bit of intense.
I just got to the part in the fall where they talk about that.
Yes. Oh.
And I was like, oh God, this is a horrifying thought from the future.
Right.
Like this is the idea that
send
she
them
could
out?
go to school and never not call for text for 3 weeks.
Oh yeah,
that sounds awful.
And then this weekend, my mom spent a couple days in the hospital. She is
no.
fine.
Oh, good.
She is fine. Sorry, Mom, to be airing your dirty laundry on the podcast, but she just spent a couple days in the hospital, and she was a little
okay.
bit scared, and it turns out to be fine.
Okay.
But it was one of these roller coaster weeks where all this stuff happens, and it's keep happening, right? And I found myself having like those telltale reactions on the corners of things where it's like, wow, that guy taking too long in the coffee line made me inordinately upset. Oh, it's because everything this week is super intense and really upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you want to retreat and watch some Netflix and watch, and just chill out for a little bit.
Lots and lots of time watching programs and chilling out at home and enjoying the quiet city.
Yeah.
Aren't
your kids like 13 years old? That's what I remember.
20.
My
20.
how did that
remember
happen?
they're all taller
Norm,
than
you're
all
old.
of us now.
I'm sorry, Norm. I have bad news for you. That happened. It's funny because we watched the last bit of their adolescence fade away.
Yep. And remember, both of you, that at the very moment you will feel at the peak of your professional prowess, you will be completely useless to them.
Oh yeah.
Looking forward to that.
That is what it is to have kids.
Oh.
You will hit that streak where you're like, man, I feel pretty good about all this stuff, and they'll be like, can you please stop talking and pretend that you don't know me?
Dad, if you'll scrunch down while you drop me off at school, that would be great.
That's why you want to go make good choices. Don't do drugs.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a good bit.
Hey, I spent a bunch of time this weekend watching The Dark Crystal.
The new series.
The new one?
And I rewatched the movie.
Well, now
People
Twitter
are
is
going
loving
bonkers for it. Yeah.
Twitter is loving the spit out of the new series. I have not yet dived in.
So it's 10 episodes. It is, as practical as it could be, and I find myself watching every 15 minutes, like pinching myself. How does this show exist? How could
right?
How could
$4 billion a year, Norm?
Obviously Netflix paid for it, and they've been trying to work on this for a long time. I listened to a couple interviews with the director. All 10 episodes directed by the French director Louis Leterrier. He did The Incredible Hulk. He did Transporter. That was one of his first films
with Jason
Statham, right?
Wow. He did the Ed Norton Incredible Hulk?
He did the Ed Norton Incredible Hulk
with William Hurt.
Yes,
yeah.
He did that Jet Li movie Unleashed or Danny the Dog. He's done a bunch of action movies.
The Transporter is not in terms of action movies. I like the Transporter. I think the Transporter is.
The movies are all one giant enjoyable film.
Well, as I said, he said this movie is all practical effects. Well, he had a lot of experience because Jason Statham is one big practical effect.
Right.
So, but he's apparently a big puppet guy and been working with Jim Henson Company, the workshop, to develop this series with Jim Henson's daughter. And it is all the fabrication stuff. I think there's a whole documentary that's coming out about the making of the series. I can't wait to watch that. But all the fabrication looks astounding. The fact that it's all then shot under modern cameras and modern lighting just elevates the whole thing. It doesn't hide the fact that people are puppeteers are working with it, and they give full credit. In the credits, it's not only the voice actor. Every character has 2 credits: voice actor and
good.
Puppeteer, and the puppeting
that
really
makes me
shines.
so happy.
So I have as a great fan of the Muppets, I have never actually watched The Dark Crystal.
Oh, you should.
What an exciting treat you have in store.
Okay, I was going to say, is it it's worth going back to at this point?
Completely holds up.
Okay.
It is intense and weird in the best way. It's sort of in the look, I'm this may be controversial, but I think of Labyrinth as a half-failed experiment. There's a lot about Labyrinth that leaves me a bit cold. To me, Dark Crystal always felt like the zenith of the Muppets getting weird in the best way.
Okay.
Taking the device of their institutional knowledge of puppeteering and creating separate worlds and creating one that was so different and weird that you went along.
Has
hook,
its
line,
own
and sinker.
rules. The pace is it's a slow movie for children, but perfectly paced for adults.
Can I watch it with a 6-year-old?
Yeah, and the show too. The show is PG. The show is
All
made.
I've ever wanted is Agra's orrery.
So that is CG. The orrery
It has
in the
to
new
be.
show
I
is
never
CG.
could imagine how they could afford to have built that thing on the movie.
Yeah.
There's an orrery in the first movie that will blow your freaking mind.
And it
It
was
is
pra-
the
it had to be-
size
that
of
has
this
to be
shop,
practical.
Done, yeah.
and it's practical.
Yeah.
And it's constantly moving.
Yeah.
Wow.
But they do things with the sets here. There's a big library with this, and they do a lot of, like, the director pushed the puppeteers to do longer shots. So it's not just within the frame of, two puppets talking to each other. They do oneers. There
Oh,
are
wow, right.
Like, puppets are
Wow.
running, and then they seamlessly transition into a talking scene. The camera moves around them. They're multi-camera setups. It's filmed in a way that we've never seen a puppet show filmed. But
That's
still,
fascinating.
all the puppets are front and center.
Practical. Huh.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's big and deep and 10
you enjoyed it?
episodes. Yeah, enjoyed it.
Are
very
they
much.
hour episodes or 30-minute episodes?
Hour episodes.
Wow. Okay.
I know, it's a big production.
Okay.
And gorgeous.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last week we did a video unboxing. You put on a suit of armor from Prop Store from the movie The Great Wall.
Yeah.
Right. It's gorgeous. And
Tiger core.
Tiger core. You got the ginger
Dude,
tiger
it's
core.
so beautiful.
And that auction's going on right now, but it made me want to go back and watch more Zhang Yimou movies. Because that's the director who directed Great Wall. He also directed Hero.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hero's amazing.
Jet
House
Li
of
Jet
Flying
Li is hero,
Daggers.
right? Oh,
Yeah,
wow, he did House of Flying Daggers?
House of Flying Daggers. He
Ooh.
did To Live. Do you remember that movie? It's about the Chinese Cultural Revolution. He was banned
No.
from filmmaking for
Oh,
years after
yeah.
making it.
I've never
Gong
actually seen
Li's
it.
in it, and
No.
it's the Chinese Dr. Zhivago.
Oh,
Is how I would
Okay.
describe
Wow.
it. It's about cultural revolution in an epic and people
okay.
finding each other,
Okay.
and it's super depressing and sad, but still sentimental at the
Love
end.
the time of cholera.
And then he did a new movie I watched over the weekend called Shadow.
Yeah.
And where Hero and House of Flying Daggers and Great Wall are colorful.
Yeah.
This is a monochromatic. It's
Ooh.
color, but it's all the palette is all black and white. It's all light and dark. And the movie's a little slow. It does become a little bit of like a palace melodrama at times. Has crazy action stuff toward the end, but visually, I found it to be one of his best.
Wow.
Yeah.
I always love that scene in Hero where is it Donnie Yen and Jet Li have a fight all in their heads.
Oh, wow.
And
I don't remember
this
that.
It's a there's no dialogue.
It's
You
in one of the
see
first
them
fights,
face
yeah.
off in
Okay.
the rain, and he manages to communicate filmically that they are standing staring at each other while going through exactly how a fight between them would go and having that fight mentally.
But of course, you see
And
the
then-
fight.
yeah, you see the
but
fight
that's
playing out in their
how
head.
you get stylistically all the wuxia, like all the stepping on rain and the puddles, like because in their head,
Yeah.
it's them expressing.
The ultimate form
Their
of their
finesse.
yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, and it's in the rain.
Yeah,
that fight,
it's in
and
the- yeah,
the rain
totally.
slows down.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's
Worth
a wonderful
watching, Kara.
filmmaker.
So I had to make a single night trip to LA this week, which spent a lot of time driving on the 5, it turns out, which is nice because I got to listen to about 12 hours of Fall
yeah.
on
Oh,
the audio.
yes.
Like I used the power of the Kindle to switch from the book that I was reading to the audio book,
Nice.
which that still feels like magic. And that the reading is really good. The I don't know if you've listened to the audiobook, but I've been zipping back and forth between the two, and it is a really delightful presentation. And I finally got. Sometimes Stevenson books start a little slow, as we all know. This is definitely one of those. And I finally got to the part where it got to the big idea, and I was like, "Oh, I've got to every waking moment is going to be
Isn't it thrilling?
contained inside this book now." Yeah, it's astounding. It's truly like it is. It became clear about halfway through this that either he backed into the premise that he's been trying to write toward for the last 20 years, which I don't think
interesting.
happened.
About the intersection of our need for religion to create a structure
Well-
within which to operate.
Well, if you look at like the the Baroque cycle, it's about the dawn of science, right?
Right.
Cryptonomicon's about the dawn of the computer age.
Yeah.
And an anthem is it's unclear what an anthem is about, but I quite enjoy it.
Yeah.
And this seems like it's the dawn of the post singularity. What happens beyond?
Right.
What do post meet space humans look like?
I loved how casually he posits the future and then tosses it aside for the narrative, right? Like the idea that we don't carry phones anymore in 20 years. It's
I think
all
that's right.
eyeglasses.
Yeah.
I think that's totally right.
Yeah.
Not even computers. Like all the devices go away except for glasses.
Yeah. it is definitely worth reading. When I finish it, I want to dig in and talk about it more because there's a lot happening there.
Yeah, we should see if we can get Neil down here.
I would literally pull out teeth to have an opportunity to harass Neil with questions about this book.
Let me see if I can get him down to come on down.
No, Pacific Northwest, right? That's a short trip.
Yeah,
Pacific
look,
Northwest.
it's a 12-hour flight.
This stuff is portable. We can.
It is. We can head up there if he wants. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. That's a reason to head up to Seattle. I'm actually heading there later in September.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we can make that a combined
Yes.
trip.
Yeah,
well.
interesting.
Actually, no. I'm heading there right after New York Comic Con.
Okay.
I don't know if that'll
got
work.
it. Got it. Okay.
Anyway.
Well, speaking of New York Comic Con, it's in about a month, almost exactly a month from now.
I am hopefully solving my costume today and this week.
That is the exciting thing.
Of
Of course,
there were a bunch of cameras set up over there.
no spoilers as to what it is,
No
but it will
spoilers
be
about even the genre because people are too smart.
You're not going to be a block of Super Sculpey.
Negative.
Okay.
Negative.
Okay.
No, not like that beautiful Mod Podge
That
jar.
Mod Podge jar. Oh, so good.
No hints about the costume.
Okay.
I'm
But
very excited about
the fact that problem solving will be required. And it's
lots of
gonna-
mechanical problem solving for this one.
Ooh, I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
I know because you didn't go to Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con this year. It feels like you have
This
a
is the big
lot
one.
of
This
yeah,
feels like
this-
the
big
one.
show.
It's very
yes.
exciting.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything up on the site this week?
Yes, the Project Egress build
Ah!
just went up
Oh,
today.
yes.
Woohoo!
So that's a full build video. It's wonderfully edited. Of course, how to condense the full day of building you and Jen and Andrew and the rest of the contributors did that day. Distill that into this one-day build video.
We've also, I think we have a site up.
Yes. So we've been posting up profiles, all the makers.
Yes.
And the Smithsonian has
45 incredible makers contributed to this
that's
project.
awesome.
Jen Schachter's been working on a page that chronicles all of their contributions.
Mhm. Absolutely. And there's more stuff from the Smithsonian, of course, their digitization lab. We have a video from that visit up there. And also, you're going to get double build this week. The styrene build from your Star-Lord costume.
yes!
That is also going
Oh,
up.
nice.
Because that was at Silicon Valley Comic Con.
Well, and you also have posted your Close Encounters video this week.
Yes.
With the Close
of
Encounters
seeing the
model.
mothership there.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Maybe we talked about that last week,
Yeah.
but
so
some good
beautiful.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of stuff on the site, a lot of stuff to get busy on.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
this
I'm
is our
really-
happy
the second
place.
we finish this podcast, I'm pulling foam core and starting the mechanical.
Go build.
Yep.
Go build. See y'all next week.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Welcome. Oh. Welcome
That-
to